All right, hello and welcome to another edition of Video Games to the Max. We are live right now on the Twitch, on the Twitter, on the Facebook page. Go check us out at wtunet.com, wherever those things are, and whatever you like to listen to us on. We are there on the podcast as well. Hopefully, you're listening on audio. Thank you to all of you that have listened to the two episodes we did. Um, on the previous Wednesday, and then of course the Game Awards post show. Uh, Thank you to Randy for being on the last one. Randy will make appearance here in written form as we are talking about a. We're gonna do it. We kind of have been doing this the last couple years like this, where we do things the opposite because we do our game of the year a little bit later than everybody else because we don't get to play everything, when it comes out right there, like a lot of the big sites do, and we don't have a lot of people either, so it's kind of upon us to go and play those things ourselves. So we're doing our most anticipated games of 2022 at the end part of this episode. This will also be the last episode for a while that will be news focused. The next two are our game of the year stuff. So Randy will join us again this Wednesday coming up. So both the next two shows will be on Wednesday. Wednesday the 22nd will be our top tens. So Mark, who is here with me as always,
Yep. Got it.
myself, and Randy will give our top tens. Um, Yen says he has not played enough this year to be able to feel like he can really be verbose about that. I don't know, maybe I'll get him to give me a written top five or something. And then the week after that, the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, the 29th, which will be the 30th for you guys. Right there, still technically the end of the year, we'll be doing our actual game of the year. We do our top 25 games, and of course, the one that's number one at the end is our game of the year. So,
That may be an issue for me.
yeah, we'll see. This is another year where wow, there could be so many games
No, it's
that
like
could be your
I won't be here to podcast the 29th.
ah.
I'll be seeing
Well,
that Final Fantasy concert in Atlanta at the ends.
oh, you will be okay. I should have talked to you about that. We'll have to figure out something. I will have to talk to Randy about if he has another day. So you're leaving that day, or you're leaving the day before?
I'm leaving the day before Tuesday,
Oh, well, I will have to talk to
and
Randy
like
about if there's
early in the
another
day
day.
too.
Okay.
But we can hammer that
Well,
out later
yeah, we can
on the
hammer that out
podcast.
later. So either way, we had a schedule made at least for the top 10 one. We'll figure it out. It may be much sooner for that top 25 one then anyway. So that being said, let's get this started here. Episode 297. Of course, I am your host, Sean Garber. I don't know if I introduced myself or not. And I actually went back to writing this week, and I'll get to that when we get to because Nintendo had an Indie World thing. I love it when they do their Indie World. It's actually funny they did it on the same day 2 years in a row, December 15th. So interesting that they apparently have that date locked down for when they do an Indie World show. But let's actually start talking about games.
Sure.
And one of the games that was shown off on that show and released that same day. Chicory was one of them. I've talked about that immensely. I will talk about it again when we do our top tens and game of the year and everything else. Which, yeah, if you haven't played it yet, you've been waiting for it to show up on Switch. Go play that right now. You will not go wrong with that. $20 is a steal for how awesome that game is, and also you can play co-op with if you got a kid that's creative, likes to draw, or significant other or a friend, it has co-op in there as well, so you don't have to play by yourself. And there was a few other games that came out as well, but the one that I'm going to talk about here is called Dungeon Munchies. Weird name, I know. Thanks to Player 2 for Player 2 PR for giving me a code. I've played, I think, like the first couple of hours of it. It's actually in early access on PC still. What they did was they put the 2 chapters that are available in the early access version into the Switch version, and they're just going to update it with chapter 3 whenever that's ready. And I don't know if they're going to do more chapters after that. But
It depends how it
yeah.
sells.
Yeah, I assume. Well, he said that for sure chapter 3 will be put in. After that, we don't know. So either way, if you didn't watch the Indie World, it's pretty much a action platform, 2D action platformer, side scroller that you have to use cooking, and you have to kill monsters that are weird looking, anywhere from a tree to a banana to other things. And then you take ingredients that you get from like that those monsters drop, right? Whether it's a killer shrimp as well or whatnot, and then you have to cook it, and then that makes weapons or items or abilities for you. So it's actually, I've been enjoying it. I know some.
It sounds like Battle Chef Brigade.
Yeah, a little bit like that. I haven't played it in handheld mode yet. I probably should for the review, but because I've been at home, I've been playing it on the TV, so I haven't really tried it out. But apparently, it doesn't run that great in handheld mode. I'll have to try it out for myself. But yeah, I mean, I would say that it's pretty decent. I would go definitely check it out. I've had fun for what it is, and then it has a lot of humor as well. I mean, it's corny humor or whatever, but it, look at that cover and imagine pretty much what you would expect the humor to be, because that's what that basically is. You have anime girl dead chef trying to teach you how to cook magical ingredients so that you don't kill yourself while you're trying to, when you ingest it or whatever. So that's the whole gist of that. But for what it is, I've been enjoying it. I'll probably get through it more as this week goes by. I was just trying to kind of do a hodgepodge of things as I'm also working and then having a little bit of time at night to play. I did get more into that Halo Infinite campaign. I haven't done a lot of the actual story because there's so much side stuff to do. It's not like outrageous like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed or whatever, but there's quite a number of, like, as soon as you clear what they call a fob, uh, what do they call it in Far Cry? The outpost.
Or
basically an outpost, and you turn it into a thing for yourself where you can like get vehicles and weapons and stuff.
Yeah. Or like
it opens up
Yeah.
more stuff for you to find.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's all the same. It doesn't change.
Yep.
And they really could have made it better by actually making, if you're gonna go through the thing of having hunts, right? Basically glorified hunts for these mini bosses, why wouldn't you add a little bit of something to them? It's, to me, it's so anticlimactic and so like ancillary to have these supposed mini bosses that you just kill them like they're almost like they're any other enemy that's on the,
because that would take a lot more time and effort, and they were
but it's just
intense
like
crunch.
I know that they really need to get that out today, but it's just like, it's really frustrating when they have these longer health bars, and some of them have shields eventually, and some of them are actually kind of difficult to kill, because some of the, if it's an elite, it has cloaking and all that kind of stuff that you have to figure out where they are. I'm not saying that they're like easy as pie to kill, but it's just like when they die, there's no fanfare, there's no cutscene, there's no big deal made. It's just like, all right, I just cleared this other thing here, and that's it. I'm not saying,
Welcome to Far Cry.
It's I will say it's still very fun, and that grappling hook makes it like 30 times more fun. you can upgrade that thing to the point where it will shock enemies. So you can basically use it like as an extra weapon. So, oh, I ran out of ammo. Start just grappling hooking everybody because I can.
So, can you
Yeah.
just use that thing on any surface?
Yeah. There's no surface that it tells you can't use. There's a certain like depth you have to be from whatever you're trying to hook at.
Yeah.
But it won't. It actually has enough of a pause where you can literally climb a freaking mountain with it.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna. There's enough of a pause before you start actually going down to where you can tell it to hook the next thing that's there, and you can like progressively just keep going. So like
yeah, so like Just Cause or like Zelda or something.
Yeah, basically, it's almost like if Breath of the Wild, instead of walking up it, you're just grappling hooking up it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of that, I've had no impetus to mess with the vehicles that much. Also, they're a pain in the butt to use.
Yeah.
The mongoose and the warthog, because you're using both the sticks, are not the best thing in the world to drive around. I mean, it's good if you want to have like the actual soldiers with you and they do help out. They actually have pretty decent AI. It's just
For once.
it's just annoying. I'd rather just I'd rather just sprint over to the next icon that I have to go to than just wait for have to go back to the fob to get the vehicle, then drive from there. Oh, and then you're eventually gonna get to a point where the vehicle won't be able to get to where you need to go, so you'll have to drop it anyway, and it's like it's pointless, So I have just found it so much easier just to navigate with the grappling hook, and it's really cool that you can use it as a weapon, as like an extension of your resources and everything else. So they have done a great job in adding that, and that makes Halo so much more fun with having that in there. I don't know how many times I thought I was going to die. I just grapple hook the elite and the brute in front of me, and then I'm like, oh, wow, I just survived. All right, let's keep going before somebody does kill me. So, yeah, it's just I'll probably end up mainlining it at this point. It's just it doesn't matter how much you don't let the icons bother you. Eventually you do kind of go, well, I do kind of need this like Spartan thing so I can upgrade my grappling hook or my other couple of things that they give you. So okay, I'll go get that. Oh, and those little Mjolnir armor things that you can unlock so you get stuff in multiplayer. Oh, it's right there. I'll go ahead and do it. And then I find myself, I'm like, how many of these have I already done again? So I got to stop myself from doing that and just start mainlining because I won't finish if I keep doing the little ancillary stuff in the middle. But it's been fun. I can definitely see how people are feeling like it does kind of feel empty, or it feels like you're doing the same thing over and over because you kind of are. But I do want to get through the story because everybody that I've seen that's finished it keeps saying how great it is. So I do want to get to that.
Hey, at least it has something. Like, it's not the linear games that Halo have always been.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, if you have a really good story.
Yeah,
and,
but the last few Halo games didn't have that either.
Well, okay, that's fair. But I'm just saying, if this is supposed to be a return to form, right?
Yeah.
I get it. You're also trying to justify the fact that the multiplayer is free. So what you're paying the $60 for, if you're one of those people that's actually buying the game, is that campaign. So they added a bit more meat to it, which is fine. And they also made it that way because they plan on adding more things to it eventually because it's a service game. So moving on from that, but yeah, got to play more Halo, so that's always good. I played a little bit more of Brilliant Diamond. It is what it is. I don't think I need to keep talking about it. If you played that game, it's really no different. It's a nicer looking Pokemon Brilliant Diamond.
Yo, have you caught them all yet?
Not even close. I do like that apparently if you have short and sealed save, you get a randomly will get a Mew and a Jirachi from this lady really early in the game. I'm just like, wow, those are two really powerful Pokemon I could just use to wipe out everybody in my path if I didn't limit myself to only using Pokemon that are from that game. So yeah, I'm pretty sure people that have went through that probably just like use it to blow through everyone. I played a little bit of the Gunk, and that will probably be the only little bit that I play. I play about an hour and a half, and I'm sorry if somebody liked it. Cool for you. Maybe you have more patience than I do, but I was bored.
I
It's just
haven't heard
very
great things.
It's just very simple exploring. Um, it doesn't really do a great job of pointing you in the right direction when it tells you to go do this thing. The scanning of plants and stuff like that is okay, whatever. And I like the main character and her, I guess it's her sister or friend or whatnot that is the pilot. They kind of have a good rapport with each other, but I don't know. It's just it did nothing for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I'm gonna play much more of it. It seems like I'm not the only one that feels that way. It's unfortunate because it was a game that I was kind of excited for. So sometimes they don't all live up to the expectations. That being said, I took a while to get to Moonglow Bay, which was another one of my indie games that I really was looking forward to. It has the voxel art style, like Minecraft art style, so I'm sure that might put off some people, but I really appreciate the charm and how just like relaxing the game is of okay, go and you're trying to revive this town that is literally about to shut down. You have to convince the mayor to keep it going and you also have to deal with the death of your wife, girlfriend, wife, whatever that happens basically immediately. And then how you recover from all that to like lift the town to be something again. And I just really appreciate that. Like it's you and your daughter going through and whether it's you invest in the town by putting in and buying certain buildings and then you use all that to make sure that your fish meals that you're making by fishing and then making the meals, literally cooking them, sell more. So it's all goes back to helping you, but it's actually like just a really sweet way that they do it. And I haven't gotten through a lot of it. It is kind of annoying how like almost nothing stops the time clock from running. So like it's not one of those games you can kind of like leave it sitting there or get distracted because the clock goes by really quick. It goes by like 5-minute intervals quickly. Like I'll turn around, I'll go like, my dog wants my attention for a minute, literally, and it'll go from the morning to almost dark time. And I'm just like, what the hell happened? So, but I do really appreciate the game. I'm gonna keep playing it for sure. I just really like it. It's really fun. They get that people around the town all have some story to tell you, and each one of them has like a task for you to do, and there's things that you can go buy and upgrade for your little boat that you have, and there's different places you can go to fish and find more sea life as well. So it's for being an indie game, they added a lot to that, and it seems like a lot of thought went into it. They took the time to lay it and everything, and go them for I think for hitting it on Moonglow Bay for sure. Another game that I had heard a lot about, and it's up my alley because it's like one of those just like narrative games. It does have your characters like walking around, but it's very much focused on the narrative. No longer home. It's very short. It's like 2 hours. I got it on Switch on a sale. and it's a very interesting narrative of that hit me right in the feels because I still kind of feel this way sometimes. Of like these are kids that are well, not kids. They're 22-year-olds that have just graduated university in London. One of them is actually half Korean and lives in Japan because her family lives there, but she's visiting her friend in London, and that's like where they all kind of grew up. They're both non-binary characters that kind of just decided to live together. And then you kind of go through their mental struggles of they think that everything should have happened for them graduating university and like nothing happened. And one of them doesn't want to really work and like how he deals with that. And the other one, how she deals with having with her family and all of that. And like there's just so much there that for me, like just I thought it was just a well done story that again, although short, I doesn't waste time, gets to the point, and then you move on. And it stuck with me. So may not have worked for everybody, but I think it's certainly one of those that when I think about like narratives for this year, that's certainly one of them. And I've gotten like 2 hours into the Forgotten City. I already did the ending number 1,
Yeah.
so that one was pretty easy to get to.
Is that when you just killed a guy?
Yeah, that's for
Yeah.
you killed the guy. But interesting what happens like after that. I found that pretty interesting. But yeah, I will certainly be playing more of the Forgotten City.
How,
Oh yeah,
what are you playing it on? Xbox?
Xbox. Yeah,
How does it run?
runs pretty well. I haven't had a problem with it.
Okay.
Why they have issues on PC? Or?
I played on PS5 and
Oh, PS5.
some,
Okay.
yeah. Like it wasn't the most like stable game in the world, and it had like weird technical issues. Like, did you find the assassin guy yet?
No, I literally finished ending 1, and then we had to start the podcast. So
How'd you kill the main guy then? Because did you need the bow?
no, if you're the soldier, you get a gun.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like I think the archaeologist, so I didn't have the gun. Uh, but yeah, on the PS5 there's like some weird scripting issues.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't run into any of that,
Yeah,
but I mean, it's still like I like all the characters there so
I
far
liked
that I've
most of
met.
them. A few of
Yeah,
them were a little shakier, let's say.
I like the what is it? Arkea or whatever the chick that basically you meet at the beginning.
Yeah,
Um, when you go back and talk to her, like she immediately depending on which one you pick, thinks that you're like she's hitting on you, and then if you hit on her, she gets all disgusted with you or whatever. It's like
yeah.
okay, whatever floats your boat there for sure. Um, no, but I definitely think if you haven't tried out the Forgotten City, you really should. It's very interesting and it's a little bit different than like your typical like narrative game. Just the way it's a time loop game, just like various other ones that we've seen this year. So you should. I think people should give it a shot for sure. Try it out. It's on Game Pass. Do that thing where you give it a whirl and see if you like it. Uh, and I played a bunch of demos because there was demos from Indie World and then there was demos from the Game Awards. And then I gave Metroid Dread a whirl because I was like, I don't know if I want to spend the $60 for Metroid Dread because Christmas coming up, a lot of people you have to get gifts to and everything else. $60 can go a long way when you're wanting to buy gifts. I like it. I'm not a big Metroid. I like platformers more than Metroidvanias because I don't like the whole backtracking thing that much. So I like going constantly forward and maybe go backward a little bit. I got through one of the Emmys, and then the second one, that's to the point where I was just kind of like, all right, I'm tired of like dying or trying to figure out how I get into the middle of a small section that's in the almost feels like it's in the air. Just like, do you have to slide through those too? I didn't get that part.
No, you can like if you're in like you should be able to just kind of grab onto it and kind of go
Yeah,
through it.
see, but like that's the thing. Like I grab onto it and it doesn't. She doesn't pull herself up or anything. It just stays stuck there, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or.
Well, do you even have ball form in the demo or no?
No, you just have. That's it. No, that you don't get anything. Obviously,
Well,
the first one they give you that big cannon that you can kill them with, and the
well,
second
that's how you
time,
kill all of them.
well, I mean, the second one he tells you that robot voice thing that you
Yeah,
have to talk to
yeah.
sometimes tells you that you have to run from them because you're not going to get that again or whatever.
I mean, it's
And
probably
yeah,
you're probably not going the right way. You probably have to like shoot some part of the walkway or something to get around that. I mean, that's the whole point of that
maybe.
game. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, because I shot those things that look like little hearts or whatever, like beating hearts, and they blow up part of
Yeah.
uh, the walkway in front of you. But then it makes this small little square, and the ones that are on the bottom, you slide through them. But then that one, I'm just kind of like, well, where the hell else am I supposed to go? He keeps trapping me. So,
That's what that
yeah,
game is.
yeah, I will figure it out. I'm sure at some point, maybe. Loot River is cool. Still makes me excited for that game. I love the fact that you can move those platforms and kind of like make your way. Very interesting. Gonna Cool to see how that's gonna be done in the actual main game. I think Nobody Saves the World is gonna be actually really good. It's from the Guacamelee guys, or team. Sorry. I love the fact that you can turn into a rat, a knight, and a mage like really fast in that game already. Like just in the demo, I've already been able to use like 5 different classes, and you can like switch between them constantly, however much you want, depending on what you need to do. So that seems like it's going to be a really fun game when that comes out. And the
Yeah.
other two were the indie world stuff. Figment 2 is much like Figment 1. So if you like Figment 1, you won't go wrong with Figment 2. And Timely did not work for me. I do not like games where, like, I like the stopping time mechanic, but I don't know. I'm sure that there was another game like this, but it's a game where basically you see what you're supposed to do, and then you stop time or fast forward it in order to make the puzzle where you can walk through and avoid the enemies.
I mean, I guess
And
like Blinks, the Time Sweeper, or Super Hot, or Braid, or like that.
maybe it's like super hot, but it's just so slow developing that I was just kind of like, this is taking too long. Like I'm
Yeah.
just like, you have to be very meticulous of the whole rewinding and fast forwarding thing to know when the guard's gonna move one way so you can move the other way. And I'm just like, uh, not for me. But
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be people that's for. Okay, that's it. I have played a bunch of stuff. Sorry. What have you been playing there, Mark?
Uh, I've been playing Demon Souls with Jens. Uh, that's interesting. I'm a mage character, and like he kind of primarily plays the game as like a warrior or like a knight or like a melee
Okay.
character. Uh, I find that game stupid easy as a mage character.
How does
Uh,
he feel about you playing as the mage character?
he finds it kind of funny because, uh, well, in my world, everything's like level to like my level, so I'm like level 20 or like 25, or I think I'm like actually like level 28.
Yeah.
He's like 130,
Oh
and
wow.
I mean, he's died a few times, not by like enemies, but just kind of by like rolling. He died like a few times by enemies, but like rolling off the game world or like into a pit or something. But in battle, like I'm pretty good because I just stand back and just flame guys to death or like magic arrow them to death. Uh, I joined his world because he's a new game plus, so
Okay.
everything's like way harder for him. Uh, I'm effective in that too.
Oh really?
Like
Well, that's good.
I'm weaker, or like I can only take like 1 or 2 hits, and then
Right.
I'm down. But like the second kind of area is you have to like there's this big dragon flying around the world, or like flying around this like bridge, and you have to cross the bridge at when the dragon passes, like to avoid his flame breath. And he couldn't make it past the third like checkpoint because there was a bunch of enemies on that point where he lost souls, and it's like, well, I can just do it myself. And like I died a few times, but like the fourth time I did it, I basically killed all the enemies there, and he was kind of amazed I did that. And then we fought the boss, and I killed the boss because
All right.
that's the Tower Knight, so I can hide behind the stupid, like I said last time, the railing, and just soul arrow him to death. And I was weaker, but like I said, I was still effective, so it was really funny. And he was lamenting, he was like, "Wow, I feel very not like weak compared to you." And like in my game, we're past like the first 4 main areas of the game,
Yeah.
so that's cool. And I realized why I like playing Magic in that game instead of Dark Souls. In Dark Souls, they actually give you a limit on how many spells you have. That sucks.
Okay.
So it's like, oh, you only have 20 soul arrows, and then once you're done, you have to rest a bonfire to get them back. In this game, you just have a straight magic meter. So once that's gone, I mean, you can take items to like refill it, but once it's gone, you just have to wait a while for it to get recharged. That's way better.
Yeah, I mean, like, so have you played much of a single player, or just went only
I
with
played
the
a little
enemies?
because you have to just. I beat that like the Tower Knight on my own on my own time, but I can't get too far from Yen's at this point because we're kind of in the same place, like progress wise.
Okay.
Uh, so I just don't want to get like too far, or I might like lock it out at some point. Uh, yeah, and the way like the multiplayer handled in the game is incredibly stupid. Like I figured, like
What is it? Why is it stupid? Or
because like you can only join a person's game if you're dead, or if you're in like soul form.
okay,
Uh, and if you're in human form, you can't join another person's game. But if you're in soul
okay,
form, you have half your health. The flip side is like you can't you don't if you're in soul form, you don't lose your souls like when you die. Like nothing like really transfers over. So there's no real consequence for you if you die. But like we were in this stupid prison level, which sucked because it's a huge maze. And
right.
whenever he died, I had to basically run back to the start of the level and summon him because in his game, enemies were still there, so you couldn't like get
Oh, okay,
too close to me. And he was also New Game Plus, so his game was way harder than mine.
right.
uh, that's fun. I got the N64 flash cart. That's cool, but I don't have an N64 to try it on yet.
I thought
I
you had one.
No, I mean I used to have one as a
Okay.
kid, but I got rid of it. Or I
Okay.
view it as a good motivator. Actually, I mean I'll get an N64 soon enough, but I don't want to get an N64 and then start collecting games for it like I know I would.
Right.
I'd rather have this thing so I can have every game on it and go from there. Uh, I finished both the Assassin's Creed Valhalla season pass expansions. Uh,
Is it the most recent one, or
no, because I mean that just came out and like I just unlocked that kind of. No, it's the Siege of Paris and there was another one. I mean, can't remember it. Let me look it up because it's gonna annoy me. Oh yeah, Wrath of the Druids. That was like the first
okay.
one, and Paris is the second one. I was still way over leveled, but it was weird because it's like the game was like, oh, only need to be level 200 for this. I'm 480, and the enemies were like outside of my level range. Like they were not like pushovers necessarily. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering, it's doing like some weird level scaling or something like that. Uh, and that Paris one, I got to show you some. I saved some clips from that thing. It like mostly ran fine, for like 95% of it. The last two missions like were utter garbage as far as frame rate. Like I was
Why?
playing it and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like I'm getting like single digit frame rates in this like city, and it's like what's happening?
Damn.
And like nothing, I'm not in combat. Like it was kind of just like, oh, you just. I think it was like saving the game, and that might have slowed it down. But I think that's a problem if like saving the game dramatically reduces the frame rate. Uh, but yeah, another new expansion, or like they announced that Thor expansion or whatever, into the Odin expansion.
Right.
I'll probably get it. I mean, I like this thing well enough. Uh, I mean, of the three Ubisoft franchises, this Far Cry and Ghost Recon, like this is one I kind of support and doesn't have a ton of dumb shit attached to it yet. Uh, yeah. The big thing though is I got my analog pocket.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That
Yeah,
looks pretty cool.
yeah. Uh, so the one I would say downside to it, kind of, it has some really onerous power requirements.
What do you mean, like?
So it basically, like, the instruction manual says you should only. I mean, the fact that it doesn't come with a charger is kind of funny to begin with. But
Yeah.
you're only supposed to charge it from a USB-C cable to USB-C cable, like And I don't have a ton of those adapters or a ton of those cables. I have a ton of like USB-A, like the regular old big one, to USB-C,
Right.
but
Well, I
not.
mean, they probably just expect that like everything's USB-C now, so
Yeah, except
yeah.
like my cell phone, like that adapter is so old, or it's a fast one, but it doesn't do it. The only, I mean, I got the dock, and that came with one, but I don't
You have
want
to
like.
be careful sometimes with those because if you get one that's too powerful, it can brick the
Well, this said like
yeah.
20, I think 20 watts, 20 volts or something, whatever. Uh, but my Oculus Quest had one also, and that worked fine. Uh,
Okay.
it's well made. It's bigger than you'd think, and
I
it's
saw that. I
also,
was like, wow, that's pretty big.
yeah, it's also like more well made, or like feels good in your hand than you would think. Uh, the funny thing is, like, because well, right now you can't load ROMs off of it. Like, the
It kind
SD
of looks
card.
like a Game Boy SP.
No, because it doesn't. No, because it doesn't. There's no hinge, or it doesn't like fold up or anything.
Oh, what? I don't know. The way people are holding it, it kind of looks like one.
I mean, it's basically like a big Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
Um, but you can't load ROMs off it. I only have one Game Boy game technically. It's like Mario Land 2. That looks really nice.
Yeah.
But I do have that Game Boy Advance flash card. Uh, so that thing's interesting because on my flash card, it can play Game Boy Color, Game Gear, and NES games off like an emulator for the Game Boy Advance,
Yeah.
and that shit all runs on this pocket.
That's
Uh,
cool.
the two downsides are it's not in the correct resolution. It's even like smaller than like a Game Boy game,
Oh,
or the regular screen how it should be.
right.
And the NES stuff, it has like really bad audio, like crackling, or like it's like staticky, or it's like scratchy, but like it
But
runs.
okay, but I mean the actual like okay, let's say the actual Game Boy stuff that
Yeah.
runs well, right?
Oh yeah. I played Mario Line 2. Yeah, it's really good. The thing has, I think, I want to say like four, no, maybe five different like display modes, because it has like original Game Boy, like the green mono, that like greenish tint one. It has what they call like analog mode, which is like a black and white one, which looks really nice.
Okay.
Has Game Boy Light, which was that never came out in America, but it's like an indigo like backlit one.
I saw somebody had the white one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think there's like one other one, but there's also like Blood Red or like Neon Red. That looks really cool, also.
That sounds
Uh,
good. Yeah.
yeah, it looks really good. I haven't hooked up to my TV yet. I will eventually, but I mean, just even in handheld mode, it looks like really sharp. So, yeah, it's a very cool device. I look forward to testing it out later. Once you get more stuff for it.
Yeah, fair enough. Are you planning
I'm
to get a lot of games for it? Just to
I'll get like three. I'll probably get like 5 or 6 that I really care about. Uh, I'm not like I wouldn't get like Pokemon. I never played that as a kid. So
right.
for me to be like Fortified Zone and Kirby,
Okay,
and
that's fun.
I had a Zelda. I did have a Zelda cartridge, but that was not working correctly. So I think I returned it and got Mario instead. But yeah, like I would say, like it's incredibly well made. So if you have any interest in a Game Boy, it's the best one.
All right. I mean, so that way, you know, you got anybody that's interested in that,
Yeah.
go for it. I
But
mean, I don't know if you're gonna find one that's not
well,
overpriced.
you can buy them again at least, but it'll take you a year to get it.
Well, yeah. I mean, didn't they like have a thing come out saying that they're gonna make sure the people that already ordered them are gonna get them, and that
Well,
for that reason they're not gonna.
they put it up into like groups. Like the quicker you pre-ordered it, the sooner you get it. But it's like in blocks. Like you'll get it like Q1 2002, Q3 2002, or like just 2023.
All right, fair enough. It's
But
kind of like the Steam Deck, the way they did that.
yeah, I had a friend because I pre-ordered this thing in like October of 2019, and we just got it this year. We just got it now, and she was like incredulous that I waited so long, or like that they took my money 2 years ago, and I'm just like, well, COVID hit, like
Yeah,
that didn't help matters, and also even before COVID, there was already supply issues with like electronic shit, so
right.
I'm fine. It wasn't like the most pressing thing on my mind either. Like it's not like I'm counting on the days on a calendar. Like I just kind of put it out of my mind until I got an email saying like, "Hey, it's coming out soon." I was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah, I mean,
I was,
at least
I
it
didn't
came
think it
out
was
and you got to have it.
yeah, I didn't think it was funny. Like every tech site I know or follow got one for review.
Yeah, I was looking to see if I could show video.
Ex-
Everybody that had one, it's somebody else's. They Analog Pocket did not have a YouTube thing I could show that's from them. But yeah, I kept seeing. I'm like, damn, who didn't get a review copy of this?
well, the one site that didn't is Giant Bomb.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
But like Jeff Grubb got it, so
yeah.
he can do it for them or whatnot.
If someone asked, I think Jeff Gerstmann on like his Tumblr, I'm like, they're like, when are you going to do a stream? And he was like, we didn't get one.
Oh, that's crazy.
They haven't talked to us since the Super NT, which is weird because like their Super NT coverage like wasn't negative. It was
Right.
perfectly fine. You should start bugging him
Interesting
for
how that
where's your,
works.
yeah. You should start bugging him for where's your review unit.
No, I'm good because I know I'm not gonna buy any Game Boy games to go in that. So
Well, forget Game Boy, man. Break out your Atari Lynx and play games on that.
hell no, I'm good without that. But yes, I mean anything else you
Not
want to
really.
mention?
Yeah, a few other games here and there. I played this thing called like Neon Runner or Neon Car or something like that on Steam. Uh it's like an endless runner game kind of, but you're just driving. Or Neon Drive, that's it. Uh
Okay.
but it has a really great soundtrack, full of like synth pop or techno music. And the first car you unlock or the first car you start off with is a DeLorean. So It knows what it is.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that for sure.
So that's about it for me.
All right, so we had plenty of games that we've been playing to talk about here. So let's get on with the news here. So the major thing that's been recently, we were going to do the show on Monday, but I fell asleep, and then it just made more sense to just do it on Friday. Is NFTs coming up again? Because Ubisoft kind of started this with they're going to do NFTs for Ghost Recon, which the reason why they chose Ghost Recon Breakpoint is because it's not on Steam, because both Steam and turns out Microsoft have a thing with NFTs, which are probably a big reason why it was easier for Stalker, the dev team for Stalker to say Stalker 2, I'm sorry, to say no and not go through the crap that they were getting from all sides, from Twitter and social media. But they quickly doubled down, and then 20 minutes later, all of a sudden you get a post saying that we're just not going to have the NFTs. But the fact that they wanted to do it and they doubled down on it tells you that they really did want to do it. They only said no because a bunch of people said they were going to not buy their game, which, unlike Ubisoft, the folks making Stalker 2 cannot afford that. So that's going to be a struggle for indie developers going forward. You want to do NFTs, get ready, because there will be a lot of people that are not going to buy your game due to that.
There was some Kotaku thing just today or like a few hours ago about the Ubisoft boss Yves Guillemot like trying to talk to the Breakpoint developers about why NFTs are a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked him kind of point blank, like, what is this good for? Like, how is this going to benefit our game? And he had no response. He had like a bunch of like nonsense. And it's like, that shouldn't that tell you something right then and there? Like, this is a scam, or this isn't going to help our game at all. Like, Breakpoint wasn't good to begin with, and it had a very rocky launch that kind of got better a little. But this is tanking it like more and more.
I mean, it doesn't help. The thing is that I think I've said this several times. There are some public, aside from Ubisoft, there are some indie PR people and publishers that are really like pushing this.
It's all like finance people or business. It's not like creatives, or it's not. Let me rephrase that. We have another story. It's not grounded creatives.
Yeah, but I mean, they have this attitude of, well, why do you care so much? Just don't mess with it. It's like loot boxes. Don't bother.
Well,
that
was another thing Eve said. He's like he compared it to loot boxes, DLC, and microtransactions, and it's like, except for DLC, and even that's kind of hit or miss. The other two things are not well liked by most people.
Yeah, and it's like the difference is those are also multiplayer games. When you start including these into single player experiences, which that I think is what people are really worried about, that NFTs can then start crossing that line of, oh, we're just going to put them in everything. And that's why there's such a pushback of, we don't want this blockchain crypto stuff in video games. And if we start saying, oh, okay, it's cool, it's fine for free to play or fine for multiplayer games, then it's going to be harder to draw that line when they start saying, okay, well, we're just going to put them in everything. And then you're not going to be able to stop it because.
Well, one of the Breakpoint ones is NFTs. Like, you have to like play the game for 600 hours. And
which is
that's
ridiculous.
Nuts. Like, aside from World of Warcraft, I never put $600 in any game. And WoW is like over 10 years or over 15 years, like.
Yeah. If you're going to play 600 hours of Breakpoint, more power to you, folks.
if you're gonna do
Not
that,
not gonna be me, but
if
sure.
you actually do that, I will buy you a different game because you clearly have no other options.
Yeah, you seriously need to.
It's the game is somehow stuck in your PS4 and it cannot go online, so you only have that.
Seriously need to reconsider what's going on there. With yourself.
Yeah.
Uh but honestly, yeah. I mean, again, I hate seeing devs have to go through that and deal with that backlash or whatever. But they responded quickly,
Well, the
and
Stalker guys did at least.
they did the right thing at the end of the day. It's like,
Yeah.
again, Ubisoft. It doesn't matter how much pushback they get, they're not going to say they're not going to drop it because they're Ubisoft. They're a big ass publisher. People are going to buy their games. Look at Activision. We're going to talk about Activision in a second. How much it did not matter what's been going on. Okay, so that's the problem is we forget a lot of times how in a bubble we are when these problems come up.
Yeah.
And we think, oh, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the one that's going to cause a rift with other people. And then you forget how much other people do not care about other people's problems. For one, look at how this entire pandemic, we're being asked once again to start masking and all this other stuff because of the Omicron, and how many people just are not going to give two jabs, whatever about that, and they're going to keep doing their thing. So why would they care about some companies' employees having issues as long as their damn game gets made? That's all they care about. So unfortunately, there's going to be enough people that only really care about these Ubisoft games getting made. They're not going to really sit there and wonder about whether NFTs are good or bad for gaming. So, but this will not be the last time we have to hear about NFTs. It will not be the last time when any dev probably faces backlash for this. And it probably won't be the last time we're going to see somebody have to backtrack on a stance for that.
Or to see Ubisoft make another dumbass decision.
Yeah, I mean, Ubisoft making dumb decisions is not anything new. They are still dealing with their own workplace issues, and they're going to continue to deal with that. So,
Yeah.
And then they're still in the news all the time for other things aside from that. So, yeah, it is what it is. Unfortunately, as much as we don't want to deal with it, this will be a year-long thing that I'm sure we will be talking about. Something that's actually good and bad, right? Final Fantasy XIV's Endwalker expansion came out, and it is so popular. It has consumed the masses that love Final Fantasy XIV, and it's gotten new people to want to play, and they're getting their friends into it and everything else.
And
That
you have like big streamers playing like Asmongold and stuff too. So
exactly all
that
these
helps.
streamers that were playing WoW, right? We're using the Endwalker expansion now to start really streaming Final Fantasy XIV, or maybe they started their journey with Final Fantasy XIV as the Endwalker expansion came out to get buzz or whatever. And yeah, man, it's nuts, and it's so nuts that they had to take it off of storefronts
Yeah.
to ease these queues that are ridiculous right now.
They should rent server space from Activision for a while.
I
Like,
mean,
hey, you're not using these.
it's incredible the amount of I see Kyle and I have another I see Kyle on Twitter talking about it all the time, but also there's other people in the Outer Haven team that play Final Fantasy 14, and they're constantly telling me about how the waits that they have to do in these queues and everything, and it doesn't matter. Even Carl that's in Australia, he still has to do the wait in the queue.
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever time he's playing at. So this is, I mean, it's what you see when an MMO comes out, especially one that's super popular. But it's crazy that they're having such a hard time like meeting this demand, and it's causing Yoshi P some headaches that he just said, you know what, I'm just gonna take this down.
Again, though, I mean, look at where that game started. Like,
Yeah, look at
it's funny because it's like the complete inverse of WoW.
look at where that game started. A total trash fire to look at where this game is now and how much of a like in the consciousness it is. It is like the one standout MMO that everybody just universally praises. Um, and they're happy to pay their subscription right now. Yeah.
There was some recent WoW cinematic that like leaked for like the new story content.
Yeah.
And it is like baffling to me how they just like reuse the same stories over and over in like Blizzard games. Like straight up, like doing the same thing they did with StarCraft with WoW.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you guys like really out of ideas? Like, or like there's
Maybe,
more than one story in gaming.
maybe, and especially with the amount of people that keep leaving,
Yeah.
they don't necessarily have time to go back to the drawing board and think too much about what they're doing and not doing.
Also, I mean,
Uh,
I haven't played Final Fantasy XIV, so I can't comment at all like on the quality of it. But it seems like that game really tries to get your character into the story, or
yeah.
like a main. It's like your character's in the cinematics or something like that. And WoW
Mhm.
kind of has that, but your character is so like not a part of the story, or like so like just like sectioned off. It feels incredibly like alienating. Or at least now it does. Like old WoW had that a lot more, where like you're steeped in lore and you see all these like cool characters. But now that the story is like so baffling that like you have no idea what's going on.
Right. Yeah. I
And I'll
mean,
be curious: is this like the end of Final Fantasy XIV?
I'm pretty sure it's not.
I don't mean like. I mean, well, it's called Endwalker, so I guess I'm just kind of curious. Like, does this conclude the story, or
It might be the end of something. I'm not necessarily sure. I know
will the
it's
next one
the
be like
end of some arc or some.
will the next one be
Yeah.
like Bahamut's Revenge or something like that?
Hey, it could be. You don't know, right? I mean, makes sense at that point. But yeah, for sure, Final Fantasy 14 has been a thing that people have absolutely loved. I'm sure it will show up on people's lists for Game of the Year that actually played it and everything. So yeah, kudos to again Square for everything they have done with that game, and now to see where it is pretty impressive.
Just wait till they add NFTs to it.
Oh no. Well, they have talked about that, so it wouldn't necessarily surprise me, but I really don't want to see it get to that point. So the just to get through this really quick, the MPD for this month came out. The Switch once again continues to dominate on the charts as far as the hardware seller. I mean, it is the out of the three consoles, it is the one that's not hurting as much from the chip shortage, but it's also amazing the how much that's affecting in Japan. Like the amount of difference between how much the Switch sells and the other two consoles sell is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not really that surprising actually.
Yeah, I mean they do love their portable stuff over there, necessarily even more than here. But like I said we're gonna talk about Call of Duty. Call of Duty Vanguard is the number one selling game for the month of November.
And for the year, probably.
Well, let's see if it's for the year, but it's don't look. We said it, and many people said it. Don't expect this thing that's happening internally to affect people really buying the game or not, because the majority of people don't pay attention to that stuff. And of course, they were proven right. The fact that Call of Duty Vanguard is number one. Battlefield 2042, even though the game has issues, still number 2. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl 3. It is selling like bonkers in Japan. So that thing will continue to the Pokemon remake legacy of doing well. Forza Horizon 5 right up there at number 4. So all 4 new games hitting that top 4 there. Just Dance, the other new game, Just Dance 2022, barely outside the top 10. Shin Megami Tensei 5 actually makes it at number 16. So that's pretty decent for
it's a little surprising, but good for them.
for still niche title.
I mean, I imagine if it was like Persona 6, it'd be top 10, but
right.
Yeah.
Although I should say, remember that most of the at least the Nintendo ones, right, don't include digital cells, so we don't know. It could even be more. Except for Shin Megami Tensei 5, apparently Atlas controls that, so that did include digital cells, but the other stuff didn't. Mario Party Superstars still up there in 5th, or no, 6th. Madden still up there in 5th. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy held strong in 7th, so that's good. Maybe this one will finally break the loop there of
the
Western.
Game is like $30. Why not?
I know, but I'm just saying, like, at least people are buying it. That's good.
Yeah.
They're taking advantage of the sales. FIFA 22 in there, Far Cry 6, NBA 22. Miles Morales makes another push up there, along with Animal Crossing, and all the usuals still in there as well. Ghost of Tsushima still hanging on at 20th at the director's cut. So, interesting list of top 20 games. And like we said, Call of Duty still reigning supreme there. So, focusing on Nintendo a little bit here, because they did have that Indie World direct thing, and I thought they showed off some pretty interesting games. Man, I want Sea of Stars to come out right now. Can that come out? Do I have to wait till Holiday 22? Can that come out right now? That looks amazing. Having Yasunori Mitsuda do some of the soundtrack is awesome. Of course, the characters look like they could just be in Chrono Trigger, so that helps me a lot as well. Of course, this is actually a prequel to The Messenger somehow. It's named by the same studio, so it will be interesting to see how that is a prequel at all. Did you watch any of this? Or
no, I mean, I didn't even know it was happening until like later, and it was like so like not important to like news sites that barely anyone talked about it.
Yeah. Well, it's indie stuff. I didn't expect, a lot of people to super cover it, but yeah, I mean, I mentioned Chicory's out right now. Mori finally is going to show up on at least Switch. It's supposed to come out on the other consoles as well, but there's not a date for that yet. This is a really cool RPG with a turn-based battle system that's very unique as well. So I'm excited for that. The Let's Play Oink games, which is like another one of those like party games, that's out right now, along with Dungeon Munchies, Chicory, and I can't remember what else. And Timely were all out. Afterlife EP looks awesome. That's from the folks that did Coffee Talk, and so I'm excited for that. They showed another thing for All the Ollie World, which that keeps looking good, which that's not coming out till next year. That Fox game called Endling, Extinction is Forever, that has the mother fox that goes and tries to keep her 3 cubs alive the whole time. Pretty cool that game is being made and exists, and I'm glad they keep showing it off. Pretty fun stuff. Locomotive, also want to give them a shout out for the 1930s point and click adventure game thing. Love that. And of course, River City Girls too, because you can never go wrong with a great beat 'em up. So yeah, some good stuff in this thing. Definitely go check some of these games out. You definitely should. And like I said, Dungeon Munchies is out there right now. Chicory, you need to go get it. I'm telling you, you will not go wrong. Get that game. Yeah, but Nintendo had themselves a little bit of a, not only in adding new things, but also they added some old things as well, Mark. I mean, Banjo-Kazooie for the 64, that's pretty awesome, right? If you have that Switch.
a bit surprising, but I guess now that like Nintendo and Microsoft are kind of buddies now, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean they did announce it during the announcement,
Yeah,
so that's not surprising that it's there. It's surprising that it's like one of the first ones after Paper Mario, but it looks like they're going to be doing the adding one a month. Do you think that they should be doing more with the 64, or is one a month fine if you're paying $50 a year for this thing?
I mean it all depends on the games they add. Like I'm not a big Paper Mario fan, but like Banjo-Kazooie is a not like the best game, but it's a pretty like synonymous game with the N64.
Yeah.
It's when they start adding crap like Quest 64. It's like, no, God.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna get that far.
Well, I
If
think
they're
they
not
said
gonna,
I think
yeah.
that like it was rumored there's only going to be like 30 games in this thing total for the N64.
Well, I mean, there's not that many great games for the N64, so like it doesn't.
How great of me to buy a super expensive flash card for it then?
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. I think. Well, we do. I do know that the original Pokemon Snap is on that list of going to be added. Majora's Mask, obviously, on that list as well. If that's not already on there, I think. But
I mean, I wouldn't actually expect that game for a long ass time until they can fix the emulator.
we'll see. It's
So like,
supposed to be added, but we'll see.
I'm sure it'll be added. Just how long will it take, or will they actually fix the emulator not be like laggy and garbage?
Well, speaking about garbage, some of these games on here for the Genesis are like Altered Beast is not great, folks.
No,
Um, Toe Jam and Earl is pretty good though. So
that's one of the like, classic Genesis games. I
yeah,
never played it, but
yeah.
I respect it from a distance.
Dynamite Heady has a good soundtrack. There's that at least.
I mean, the only
Um,
real bad game on this list is Altered Beast.
Son of a Million, I've played a few times. I like it,
Yeah,
but yeah, and then Thunder Force 2. So some decent stuff. I didn't expect them to really be adding that much Genesis, so I guess maybe every 2 months for the Genesis and then once a month for 64 is a decent clip. I know people are gonna be. I mean, I get it. If you're gonna say this is like a service, right? And you're really only here for the 64 games, could you say that adding one thing a month is kind of crappy? Yeah, you definitely could. No other streaming service, no other service or company could really get away with that. Look at how much stuff has to get added to Game Pass, to make that worth a thing. Even PlayStation Now adds a little bit more than what you're seeing with the Switch,
they should
technically. So
they should start adding like retro N64 games, like making new retro N64 games. Here's Super Mario 64: The Lost Levels.
I don't think we're gonna get to that point, but sure.
Here,
I
here,
mean,
here here's Turok 4.
everybody be like, "Well, where the hell's that remaster? I wanted that, not
Yeah,
Turok 4 on the 64." But it's there if you already paid the $50. I mean, why not? It's not like you can really take it back. So, speaking of being on a service, Mega Man is gonna get a live action movie. Not everything has to have a live action movie, folks. But if Sonic can make it work, maybe Mega Man, right?
see, they announced this. I don't think it'll work because it's Netflix, and look at how bad Cowboy Bebop did, which I liked, but
Well,
I
it
didn't think it was
didn't
like,
do badly. I think it just didn't do well enough for the expenses that they had to make for that show because supposedly when it first came out, it was one of the most biggest things Netflix has ever done, according to them, and then it still got canceled. So
yeah. Well, the critical reception wasn't kind, and then like it wasn't in the pop culture medium for a while, or
right, all the anime folks that
it just kind of
didn't
came and
like
went.
it, you know.
Uh, I think Mega Man can work as a movie though. I mean, I think I might actually like it more of a TV show, but
Right.
movie, sure.
Well,
Uh,
it's like Sonic, right? He doesn't have like this enormous backstory where you can't make a movie about it and kind of do it in your own direction and have it work.
yeah.
So
I just kind of question like how goofy will the Mega Man look? Will it be a dude in a suit? Wait, should be, or will it be some CGI monstrosity like that recent RoboCop movie?
Yeah.
There actually
I,
is some like fan-made Japanese Mega Man thing. Like, it's like it's not like a full-length movie, but it's like pretty long. It's like 34 minutes long. Like, that looked really good. That was like a decade ago.
I mean,
I also just seeing this made me think of the Assassin's Creed movie. How that was such a like profound misread of the source material.
I mean, I remember liking the cartoon
That was
when I
cool.
was,
I like that
yeah,
cartoon quite a lot too. I like most Mega Man shit, honestly. So
yeah. I mean, like you said, it could work. Uh, I'm not, we'll see.
they should get Willem Dafoe to play Dr. Wily.
You're not wrong about that. Uh, yeah, I think it could actually work.
And to play Mega Man, Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, I mean, let's see.
Yeah.
They
Uh,
have Sonic
uh,
to go from of don't make the character look stupid because people will go back on it. So
I'll be curious also, like, if Roll will be in it, or Rush, or like how much Mega Man shit will be in this.
I think they will definitely try to make sure Rush is in it because you always got to have a dog or something.
Yeah. Because, like,
Um,
I mean, I honestly, I kind of look at that cartoon as like a good first pass as far as like the premise of Mega Man, like a
right.
film. I mean, just kind of blow it out. Like the first 10 minutes to be like Dr. Light and Dr. Wily in college together, and then their eventual split, and then yeah, Mega Man being Rock for like the first half hour, and then Wily attacks, and then Dr. Light upgrades him to be Mega Man.
Yeah, I mean, it, can you really call it live action if it's CG though?
Well, what's a CG or?
I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna say it's a live action movie, right? You can't have CG Mega Man.
I mean, tell that to Detective Pikachu.
I guess, but it's like that's different though. You have a human, right? Like you don't really have human character. You have like Dr. Wily, I guess,
I
but
mean, yeah, or you'll have like citizens that Mega Man has to like save, or you know,
yeah.
that's what I think. Like that's why I say like I think it should be a dude in a suit, not some CGI character. Or
Well, I mean, I guess Sonic's a CGI character as well, right?
right,
Yeah.
but he like Sonic is like an alien character, or an alien thing. Like Mega Man pretty directly translates to dude.
Yeah.
Get Henry, what's the Witcher guy to play him.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
I mean, he says that he'll do Mass Effect. They do it right, so I guess why not Mega Man 2, right?
yeah. He could
People
wear
will
that.
watch it if he does it.
He could wear that stupid helmet.
I think they'll wind up doing the Sonic thing though, and he'll end up being CG. And then you might have like an actual human Dr. Wily, kind of like Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
and that's probably how they wind up doing it. Just because you can fix it more if you get it wrong as CG in the live action. I mean, you'd have to like recast the actor and everything else.
Or here's a novel idea for the live action. Get it right the first time.
Or just not do it. That's also a possibility too. Just don't.
Well, it's kind of bad. What's kind of funny about this is like that Resident Evil film came out, and it like didn't get great reviews, and it didn't do well like theatrically. So they're gonna press on with this one.
Well,
Look,
nothing that's not a Marvel movie or whatever is doing great theatrically anyway.
remember
I
Monster
mean,
Hunter?
well,
That was Capcom.
yeah, but that's a Paul W.S. Anderson joint.
Yeah,
I mean,
So you know it's doomed from the start.
yeah. So it is that thing is what it is. I mean, it's not great. So, and
I don't
I think
know.
that
I,
came out at a time when it was like we were just starting to go back to the movies and whatnot.
yeah,
So
I don't have a ton of high hopes, but I'm not completely down on this as a concept. You know,
yeah.
compared to like some things.
Hey, but there's at least another. There's definitely another Ghostbusters game happening.
Like that, I'm
So,
down on that. Incredibly down on that.
you don't think they're gonna get it right? It's not gonna be good.
I mean, they've pumped out a decent number of Ghostbusters games in the history of the like that franchise. The only
Right.
good one was like the recent one, the the Gears of War clone, and like that wasn't great. It was merely competent.
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to do it, sure, and it'll be a good nostalgia kick for people. But yeah, I'll be kind of curious to see like what era it is. If it's going to enter like have the current people or not.
Yeah.
Will they get Paul Rudd back? That's the big question.
Probably not. I'd
Maybe
say.
I could see him doing it. I mean, hell, why not? He came back for What Hot American Summer 2, like the two What Hot American Summer series. So
Yeah, but now that he's,
he was big back
doing,
then. That wasn't like that long ago. Plus,
he's,
he doesn't like jump around or like do action shit. He does it to speak to a
yeah,
microphone.
yeah,
I don't know. It might be interesting. Like Ernie Hudson's always the guy who they get for this Ghostbusters crap because they can afford him.
right. No, definitely.
Let me put it this way: they can get Ernie Hudson and Dan Aykroyd. They're not going to get Bill Murray.
No, I'm definitely not gonna get Bill Murray. He's not gonna go in for that.
Although he did do
Um,
that other one though, which is kind of funny.
right. Um, this was so like not the way I thought we were gonna get an announcement for Splinter Cell finally happening. This seemed like just like, oh hey, here it is on Twitter. Like, I don't know. I mean, people have been wanting this game for a long time, and then that's just how you announce it. Um, there's supposed rumors that it's going to be open world. It's in the really early stages of development, so who the hell knows when it's coming out? Basically,
This is
what
like
do you
an
think?
announcement of an announcement.
Yeah, it's basically like, well, it's happening. Everybody, you can stop hating us for
This is like
this.
this is like a few years ago when EA was like, "We're making Skate 4." They got like one dude working on it in a corner somewhere, and that's it.
Yeah, like you can stop hating us now. We're working on it, okay? um I mean, look, it's cool that it's happening, but yeah, the fact that we have games that Ubisoft's supposed to be making that
they
they are like backlogged right now with stuff.
Well, the really funny thing about this announcement is like the guy going like, "Oh, this is supposed to be a like honoring the original game, or it's supposed to bring in it's supposed to like harken back to that era." And it's like, well, you don't make games like that anymore to begin with, like mission based games. So if this thing's open world, that ain't that. And then also, I think he said like, "Oh, we want this game to be like it can draw in new customers or like new players," and it's like, really? Your last game did that, and that was a failure from a sales perspective. So good luck.
Yeah.
See, that's the funny thing. I don't know about you. I only like that last Splinter Cell game, like the last two, which were like barely Splinter Cell games. The original trilogy sucked ass, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean they have a window for this, obviously, because Metal Gear Solid is kind of done.
Yeah.
Or pretty much so they would be the de facto like leading game of this type.
Well, by the time Hitman 5 comes out, we'll see this game.
Yeah, right. Definitely they could have like a few more Hitmans before we see this. But Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't really. This is not my kind of game, so I personally don't have like a stake in this. But
I mean,
knowing so many people that do, yeah,
I mean, I tried to play the original Splinter Cell. I don't know if you ever did. That game is hard
right.
and not fun.
Didn't I don't remember which one of the ones I tried to play, and I was like, it's just not my kind of game. So,
Yeah.
uh, it's again, this is cool, but it's just like Ubisoft has so many freaking games
Yeah,
right
I would rather
now.
wait
It's
for Beyond Good and Evil 2 to come out or
that
that
well,
pirate game to come out. That'll never.
Wild or Skull and Bones
Well,
or
WoW
whatever.
finally did get canceled a few months ago, but
Prince of Persia remake,
yeah,
the Avatar game. At least they showed some of that. The you know,
yeah.
all God, they have so much going on.
I
Uh,
mean, hats off to
yeah,
them, kind of, because look at Activision; they got nothing going on.
yeah. The Assassin's Creed Infinity. I mean, they just did Far Cry 6. I'm sure they're already working on Far Cry, whatever the hell it is next. If
Well,
that's
this is like,
not a
yeah. I mean, I don't. There are different Far Cry teams. The guys making Far Cry 6 are making this thing, and it's like, great. Are you gonna get Gus Fring back?
yeah, I mean, and they're also making the whatever that the division free to play thing.
Oh yeah, the
So
Heartland or whatever.
yeah, so they got a lot. You got not to mention all their other franchises that they just never stop working on stuff for. So
Yeah,
I mean, those people got a lot of stuff cooking. And I mean, again, like you said, credit to them for having stuff in the pipeline. But who
yeah.
knows when we'll see this?
I would rather have developer have too many eggs and like too many games coming out or too many franchises than putting all their ideas in one franchise and that's it.
Yeah, I still don't believe at all those rumors of supposedly Toys for Bob has something else that they're making again now until I actually see it because everything Activision right now is Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Same thing like Blizzard, everything is Overwatch and Diablo, and that's like all they have. And well, I guess Hearthstone is sort of there still, but
Well, wow,
yeah,
but no, it's such a depressing site these days.
yeah, it's
I mean, it'd be they should start running banners like, "Hey, if you can't get into Final Fantasy 14, WoW's open for you."
I mean, even Warzone is like suffering because of all the striking and everything that's going on as
Yeah.
well. So that's not doing well. But hey, maybe Total Rock Studios is going to be doing fine because now they are owned by Tencent. Of course, these are the guys that make Back for Blood. Used to make the Left for, were the big guys on Left for Dead. If it is really for stability and all that kind of stuff, Tencent doesn't really get too involved in. We haven't really heard of anything about Tencent meddling.
Yeah, they seem
So
pretty like they just want to buy shit and then they're just like, do whatever you want. Make
yeah,
us
they don't
money.
want to buy it to say that they own it and uh, exactly make money, and if that's all it is, then good for Turtle Rock.
Well,
Um,
make responsible money, not crazy Square money.
yeah. I mean, but Tencent has so many like fingers in the gaming pie at this point that even
Yeah.
if they just added single player also to Back for Blood, so if you are not a multiplayer kind of person, I actually might consider trying it out now because I'm just not a big multiplayer person.
Yeah.
I did have fun when I played with the Outer Heavy guys, so I know that game is fun. But yeah, it's much easier for me to just be able to play it whenever I want, not have to coordinate with this person here, this person there. But either way, good for Turtle Rock that they are going to be doing better. At least you would think financially.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of financial stuff, hey, we circled the wagons, guys. We circled the wagons back to NFTs somehow again. Peter Molyneux is making a game again. Of course, this is the creator of Fable. He wants to push the boundaries of blockchain gaming. Really, Peter Molyneux, cool man. He wants players to own a land NFT, which will allow you to start your own game in blockchain in a business position called Legacy. And he also wants to launch Legacy Coin, which is going to be a new cryptocurrency. I'm not even getting that. Listen, he's making an NFT game, folks.
The two funniest things about this is the first question I had when I saw this was, where is Dennis Dyack?
Probably, hopefully, far away from this.
And the second thing I thought was, there was already a game like this, like 20 years ago or 15 years ago, called Entropia Universe. It's like, I think it was a Swedish MMO, maybe like Finnish or Swedish, somewhere like there.
Yeah.
But it was a game where you could like literally like buy in the game world, like buy stuff and sell it to other people or rent it out. And there are stories about, a player bought this moon in the game that for like $300,000 in real cash, and they made money off of it by having other players like go to it and like hunting monsters on it or setting up their own business.
Yeah.
And that was 15 years ago, and that back then was more concrete than this shit now.
Yep.
Also, I mean, let's be honest, Manu's like kind of a scam artist. Like his last 4 games have bombed horribly or like been huge disasters, like that Curiosity Cube and that Goddess game. So it's like, no, you can't get games made. You can't get meetings with actual developers anymore, or publishers to make your shit. So that's why he's doing this nonsense.
I hope thing, like bombs really just.
Well, it's the same thing with. I mean, I don't know if you like him or not, but Kevin Smith did this like 6 months ago.
Yeah,
where he was trying to auction off an NFT for his new shitty film called Kilroy Was Here, and it's like, if you buy the NFT, you get the distribution rights to domestic distribution rights, and it's like, have you seen your output for the last like decade and a half, dude? Like, no one wants this. You're doing this because you can't get a distribution deal with like actual theaters,
right?
So, yeah, they should make it. They should make a game together, him and Kevin Smith.
That's what we need to focus on.
Another stupid Janice and Bob beat 'em up game.
That's what we need to focus.
Yeah.
On for that. Just getting quickly through these last couple here, because we need to get on to the topic. Sony has finally made their own PlayStation 5 covers. Yep. Now you know why they went and threatened to sue all these other places, because they're going to charge you $55 to buy one. If you want to put your PlayStation in light blue or purple or pink or red or black, you could do so. They also released controllers to go along with the 3 controllers they didn't have colors for, the light blue, purple, and pink.
Yeah.
So you can get those colors as well.
I kind of like the red one.
Well, yeah, I love that red controller when it came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, having the cover would be cool. Whatchamacallit, Sony acquired Valkyrie Entertainment, which is their 5th acquisition of the year. They're already helping with God of War Ragnarok. They've helped with League of Legends, Forza Motorsport 7, Halo Infinite in the past. So good on Sony for making that acquisition. I don't know if there's that much to say about Valkyrie joining, but that's a good studio coming in with them. And for me, if this actually happens, I think this is pretty awesome. Hopefully Atlas does make it happen, because we know that they have this disdain, it feels like, for the Switch when it comes to the main titles. Persona 3 Portable could perhaps be coming very much like, the Ultimax port thing, be coming to Switch and PC and PS4, PS5, whatever.
I see PS4 and PC. I don't see Switch.
I definitely do see it's a PS3 portable, put it on a portable system. It makes
But
sense.
it's not gonna look like that. It's just gonna be. It'll be like Persona 5 with Persona 3 characters. It's not gonna look like Persona 3 Portable did.
Well, it doesn't say they're remaking it. It says they're remastering it. So we'll see.
I think that'd be disappointing. Let's say that, because Persona 3 Portable, like the isometric shit worked kind of because that was all the PSP could do. You know,
I mean,
could
they
handle,
may remaster it and put in stuff from Fez or whatnot
yeah,
and add things to it, and then try to bump up the graphics some, like you saw with the like Final Fantasy Type 0 or whatever.
right.
So, I mean, it's possible
I
they
mean,
could
like the
do it.
Type Zero is actually a good analogy. Like, yeah, the PSP version of that looks very different than the console version on PS4.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If they do something like that to it, then perhaps it could work. I mean, I agree with you. If they're just porting it over, then no. But the thing is, people are going to go crazy, even if they just said, oh, well, here's the PSP version on Switch right now. I mean,
Yeah,
so, not to say that's a bad idea, because look what they with Persona 4 Golden. I mean, basically, that's just a port with.
but even that's not on Switch, is it?
No, that's not on Switch. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
what's
what.
funny is they put Ultimax on Switch, but they didn't put Persona 4 Golden on Switch.
That's
So
another reason why I don't think this will come to Switch.
we'll see. It would be really awesome if it did, and maybe they just surprise announce Golden on Switch as well. Um, I think once they open Pandora's box, I mean, they're gonna really be wishing they had done it earlier, because it will sell like crazy. I mean, you're giving away. I mean, I know it takes a lot to develop, and I know that's a lot of resource and man hours and everything else, or just everything. But it's like you are the amount of money that you're going to get back is worth that to put it on Switch.
But Atlas, like we've said, Atlas is very much of a traditional Japanese company, and they like to
Yeah,
have divisions with their franchises. So
yeah, but I mean, at least we're not talking about like putting them on Xbox. We're talking about putting it on another Japanese system. So,
yeah, but it's not like
and maybe
Shin Megami Tensei 4 ever came to Sony.
no, but
I
they could
mean,
start. These are older games. We're not talking about putting Persona 5. These are the older games.
no, Shin Megami
They
Tensei
could
4
have
is a
it.
3DS game. I mean,
I know. I'm just saying, if anything, if they were going to do that, they would put it on Switch first, and then if they wanted to port it, then they would. But I'm just saying, like, hey, Shin Megami Tensei 3, I know it was on PlayStation 2 or whatever originally, but
yeah,
5 was only on Switch.
no, 5 was on Sony.
Oh, it's on Sunday as well. Okay, fine then. But still, like, the fact that they're bleeding some, I think they could do it the other way as well. Who knows?
I mean, yeah, they could monetize the hell out of their games, but they don't seem interested. That's the thing.
Maybe
Sega
this
is.
anniversary will make them do it.
I saw Sega put out Alien Isolation on like mobile devices, and you just go like, why?
Because it's mobile, man. People will buy stuff. It's
Well, it's
amazing to me sometimes.
It was $15, so they're not going to buy that. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
That's the best way to play that game.
No, it's definitely not. I wouldn't play that in.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Well, yeah. So let's get on with it, folks. This is obviously everybody is going to have their most anticipated games for next year, and if all of them come out, that is a heck of a lot of them. But we also included Rainey's in here as well. We have a few that are the same, so might as well get on with some of the same ones here. All three of us are hyped for God of War Ragnarok. That is definitely going to be one of the if that actually does come out, it's going to be one of the best games of 2022, no doubt. Just going based off of how great the first one was. How is that? Is that pretty high on your list of?
Oh yeah, because like that first God of War game was, my game of the year then, I think, or like way up there. So
yeah.
I'm
excited to go back to that and see how the rest of the story unfolds here, and the fact that it looks like that's going to be it. There's going to be no third game to make it a trilogy. He's just going to end it here. There's going to be some great stuff in this for sure. Obviously, Horizon Forbidden West. They have been hyping this recently here with some really good trailers. How hyped are you for this Horizon sequel?
Oh yeah, I like the first one. This looks better. Bigger monsters looks vastly prettier. I kind of hope the story isn't quite as dumb as the last game, but hey, the more Lance Reddick you get, the better.
I will appreciate that gameplay a lot more than the story for sure, but everything I've seen of Horizon 2, this looks absolutely amazing, so I'm down for when this comes out for sure. Randy and I share the excitement for Forspoken.
Well, yeah, it's a Square game.
It's a Square game, yes, and then I want to discover this world. I want to see what happens. I want to see what these powers are that you do. Looks interesting.
I'm waiting for Forspoken 2, where instead of like a young black woman being transported to like fantasy world, it's like a member of the ICP.
Oh my god, no. What? That's terrible. The less we ever have to speak of the ICP, the better. At that point, TMNT Shredder's Revenge. That's going to be great. I can't wait for that. Gives me so many memories of like Turtles in Time and all that stuff. So yes, give me more of that. I agree, Randy. Down with that for sure. Anything else that you are?
I have my doubts about that game just based on our one failed attempt to play Scott Pilgrim, and we never tried again.
I think, but Scott Pilgrim was different because like it crashed on us so hard, and then it's like we quickly had to move on to something else, and I think we just never got back to it. But I think TMNT definitely going to be the mood if we can get all four of us to play. I'm down.
For me, I'm kind of interested in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown.
Okay.
That's the new race. That's like the WRC guys are making it. Okay. But I like Test Drive, kind of. I liked one of them, the 361.
So you're saying it has a chance to be good?
Yeah, like if it's, I don't want to say if it's like a lot like Forza Horizon, because like Test Drive was that game before Forza Horizon existed.
Right.
So if it's like that, I mean, it probably won't be as good as that, but if it kind of has the same spirit, it'd be nice. And for me, honestly, the biggest and it's dumb because I don't know the goddamn franchise at all, but Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
Yeah, you have been. I will say you've been consistent with this game of like you really want it to come out and be good. I think every year this winds up being on your list, and every year it gets delayed.
They finally put out a trailer like 5 days ago. It's coming out in 2020. 22 guys. Just wait.
You said that the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, they finally did announce a PS5 version, which is nice.
Okay, that's good.
This game, I don't know if you saw that trailer. The combat looks a lot more like East 9 mixed with like Tales of Arise.
Okay.
It looks a lot more like free, like flowing, like free form than it kind of used to, and like snappier. But it still had like the anime, like really pretty anime of like Tales of Arise.
Okay.
And the other two are like Lost Ark. I mean that's kind of out now, but free to play and everything. And then Kirby, that Kirby thing.
Yes, I am so down for the Kirby the Forgotten Land thing as well.
Yeah.
So, did they not release it in English?
Lost Ark?
No, the Relink trailer, the most recent one.
No, it's in English. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I only saw it in Japanese, so. But no, yeah, that Kirby the Forgotten Land thing looks freaking great. I'm so ready for that to come out and be able to play that. I really want to see more of it and see what that's going to be like. But anything else?
I'm kind of interested in that Marvel game, Midnight Suns.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, it's an XCOM game, so I'm sure Mark will.
And they announced I don't think they announced it that well, but there's some Starship Troopers RTS coming out on Steam in like March. That it's like I'll give this a shot.
Nah, it could be good.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, I'm seeing that too.
You found the trailer?
Yes, I found the trailer. It looks good. I like it.
Yeah. And like like I said, it looks like East 9 kind of, but it looks like a lot, mixed with like Tales of Arise,
Yeah, definitely the graphics giving me East 9 vibes, but it looks prettier.
Right.
Like you're saying.
And you have like the floating animal, like in Tales of Arise as well.
Always with the floating animal. As long as it's not the annoying thing from World of Final Fantasy, we're good.
The Moogle?
Yeah, that Moogle thing that has that terrible voice. Oh my god. Yes. Another game that people are getting previews for right now that it's not going to take too long to be coming out here. Sifu, man, I am so ready to like play this game, and just even if I'm dying a bunch of times, I want to keep playing and to keep making it. Every time they keep showing a trailer, every time they've shown it, I just get more hyped for this game. So I am totally down for seeing more of it, and I really hope that it actually does come out when they say it's going to, because man, this game looks great. Of course, Pokemon Legends Arceus or Arceus, whatever. Always going to be down with that. It's an open world Pokemon. It's what we've always wanted. So the fact that they're making it, let's see how open world they actually make it. I will be, if it's even a little bit of what they're possibly promising, yes, I will be hyped for that.
Yeah.
Another one on mine, I think some of the stuff I already mentioned. Plague Tale Requiem. I really, really liked the first game. So the second game, hoping it's more of the that goodness, and man, I just hope it delivers, because like I said, the first game was definitely one of those like game of the year contenders. So let's see what happens with the second game. Digimon Survive, of course. I've been waiting for like another game we've been waiting like a couple of years for. This game was supposed to come out like 2 years ago. Then it's supposed to come out this year. Got delayed again. It's the next Digimon game, so anytime they have a game, I'm going to be hyped for it. They're getting out of the cyber sleuth stuff for a little bit. This is back to kind of like the old Digimon stuff, the more of the like I said, survive, of like just kind of creating the monsters and all that stuff. So yeah, we'll see how that does compared to the stuff that they've been producing lately. And Randy wanted to know WWE 2K22 and that GM mode. So I that's the one thing I'm excited about for WWE 2K22 is GM mode. He says if it's competitive based and great, then yes. What do you think? Any?
It'll be disaster, like every.
You think it'll be disaster?
I have more faith in AEW putting out a game that'll have that.
Oh, really? Okay. I mean, I think that AEW game almost has that like TNA Impact written all over it, where like it's gonna look good, but maybe it doesn't play as well. But
that AEW game, I mean, not AEW, that TNA game like wasn't terrible though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like it was like the first of its kind, or like the first
Yeah.
pass. But if they kept on it, like probably the second one would have been really good.
Yeah, I mean it's Ukes. They know what they're doing. So like,
Yeah,
it's at least going to be a competent game.
right. And it won't have like years of baggage that that's been dragging it down, like unlike the WWE games.
That's very true.
Like
That
they're still focused on like scanning the wrestlers or stupid crap like that, and it's like no, focus on the gameplay first. Then you can scan in John Cena.
Yeah, they definitely need to go back to that drawing board of making sure it's all about the gameplay. Honestly, I have a bunch of indie stuff to rattle off here that I'm excited about. This is just like tip of the iceberg. There's so much that I'm really excited about as far as I go. Triangle Strategy, heights for that to finally come out. Advanced Wars 1-2 Reboot Camp, of course, that got delayed. I was a little bit sad, but hopefully it will come out next year. Metal Slug Tactics as well. If there's one thing that I was not expecting a tactics game to come out for, it's Metal Slug, and they surprised the heck out of me with that, so I'm totally down. Replaced looked amazing at the last Xbox thing where they showed it at. So yes, more of that. Battle Cakes, which is a RPG where you're a bunch of dessert things. Why not?
Yeah,
Eating Chronicle Rising has looked amazing every time I've seen it. So yes. Mentioned Sea of Stars already. Goodbye Volcano High. Been waiting for that to come out, as well as Lobster Free 2. So, and We Are Okay as well. So, man, there's gonna be a lot more. You thought this year was hyped for indies, which it really was. Next year promises to have a lot of that as well. So,
you're really excited for that Rising game.
the Uden
Yeah,
Chronicles Rising, yeah, it's a freaking turn-based RPG. It looks freaking great.
no, that's the action one.
Oh, is that the? Yeah, I'm still hyped for that, regardless.
Okay.
So it's in that same, in the same.
I mean, it
No,
looks
one
like
of them is a turn-based. One of them is an action RPG.
yeah, this is the
So,
action one.
yeah, but it's still.
I mean, it looks like Guacamelee or something like that. Like it doesn't look
Hey,
bad. I'm not gonna say that, but
I love Guacamelee. So
I mean,
yeah, I mean,
I'm more interested in the actual Iden Chronicles game.
yeah, I mean, and then Nobody Serves the World that I already mentioned. That's from the Guacamelee guys. That's gonna be good too. Love it. Dog sitting here is scratching himself.
Yeah.
Woke up at the wrong time, girl. Okay, so anything else you want to mention here for?
Not really. Yeah, I kind of just take it as it comes.
Yeah, we'll see. Not going to be too far. We're going to be talking about games coming out in January. So, and I think we're pretty much at that's it for like this week was really, I think, the last week for stuff that was coming out this year that I think we really needed to pay much attention to. Um, I mentioned, the Gunk came out. Again, I don't think that you really need to go crazy going to play that. It's on Game Pass if you want. That Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach also came out apparently. I forgot
Oh, that
about
Record
that.
of Lodos War game came out on like
Yes,
consoles.
yes, it did. That's also on Game Pass as well.
You may want to email someone about that for me.
That Alfred Hitchcock Vertigo game came out. Oh, Trash Sailors, which I wish it wasn't just on PC. I was actually kind of interested in that when I saw it at the at E3. So that looks kind of fun. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that obviously is going to get pushed into next year. But yeah, as far as this year, I think that's pretty much we're looking at. This is why everybody's doing their Game of the Year stuff, because that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
We're looking back at what this year was and then kind of heading into next year. That being said, though, that's it, folks. We are done for this week. Like I said, we'll be back on Wednesday with our top 10s of 2021. Randy, Mark, and I. And then we'll still figure out what we're going to do for the actual top 25. Um, so hopefully you enjoyed everything that you heard here, or if you watched, we appreciate that. You can always go and subscribe on anything that there's podcasts, or you can go subscribe and then follow us here on YouTube. And then anytime we produce a show, it'll be there for you. You can go subscribe to the whole W10 network and get everything we do. My soccer show, Soccer to the Max. Or you can go listen to Eric do the Life is Like a Game show, which that's which when they did Double Dare this week. Mark does all the entertainment stuff. They will have a Spider-Man No Way Home review up there for you pretty soon. I'm going to go watch that on Tuesday. Have you watched that yet?
No. Which one? Spider-Man?
Yeah.
No. I'm going to wait until I'm with the ends. I'm going to see that together.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, until Wednesday, folks. We'll see you later.
Later.